Good afternoon, my name is Joe Cashwell with Rotorcraft RC. Today's video is about the Revolectrix bump controller. And this is what the unit looks like when it's not installed. Now, whenever you see it in our case, it's always flush mounted. We're gonna go ahead and power it up. So it's an LCD touchscreen. It will control the Revolectrix PL6, PL8, and PL8 Duo chargers. So now we're going to go ahead and show you how to set up a case from scratch. So this is the bump controller, and this icon right here is showing you your JR cable coming in from the back of the charger, and it's showing you that the negative goes on the right. So when you look at the top of the bump controller on the inside and you've got your 4 cables coming in from, well, it could be 1 through 4 cables coming in from channel 1 through 4, this right here is showing you your negative is on the right. And then when you look at the charger, you see that your ground is on the left. So you have a port on the back of the charger, and just remember that ground is there on the left hand side, and when you're looking at the bump from the front, it's on the right hand side. Revolectrix did a really good job of making it so simple you can't miss it. So after you have your bump controller connections made with the charger, go ahead and hit the increase and decrease buttons at the same time and hold them. It's going to let you go into choose task. We want to actually decrease down till we get the charger options. Enter. It's on primary channel now. We want to go to expansion module 1. And then the bump controller instantly sees it. And so then we'll come over here and we'll do the same thing. Hold the increase and decrease down, bump down a couple times. You're going to get charger options, enter primary channel, expansion 2. Then you'll see channel 2 show up on the bump controller. Now if you're running 2 duos or 4 different singles, they'll all show up at different tags at the top. And you can toggle back and forth. So now the first thing we're going to do is update. Now the easiest way to update without having to pull out cables and stuff like that is to lock onto it with a Bluetooth device. This is an Android tablet. And it's asking us to let us lock onto it. So, and that's all done with security. So now instantly, look what it's doing. Upgrading bump controller version 2.36. How easy is that? All you have to do is just lock onto it for the first time. Now this is an Android app. You can get this from the Google Play Store, $12.99. There is an iPad app coming really soon. There's the big girl right there. That's the iPad Pro 12.9. And we are running one of the beta versions. But the Android is available right now. Works flawless. It's a great item. Like I said, you can't ask for any easier way to update firmware. When the update's available for your tablet, it'll tell you. You hit update, next time you lock on, it updates it. Now it's version 2.36. Connecting the Bluetooth to the last item, which is our tablet. We're good to go. So now that we're already set up, if we've already got a bump compliant RFID tag, we can just bump it and it shows everything right on the screen. Now we're going to go ahead and set up one from blank. So we'll go ahead and back out of that. And if you notice, everything shows up on the tablet also. They're locked Bluetooth. So now we're going to go ahead, choose that one, and clear it out. So now we have a blank RFID tag. You can buy bags of these things, 24 of them for $30. And we're going to go ahead and bump it. We're going to hold it up there. Now it's saying that it's a new bump tag. So what we want to do is go ahead and set it up. Now we're doing a lipo. The cell count is 7. And yes, we're doing a 7S pack. And what we want to do is we want to keep everything accurate to what's on the label. So it is a 5,000 milliamp pack. Now you want to keep everything accurate because that's what the processor in here uses to set everything up. So we're going to put RC2, and that's RC2 pack C rating. Now this is a 45C. Once again, you want to keep everything accurate. This is how it knows all the IRs and all the calculations that it comes up with, is by the information that you put into this pack. Now cell volts is 4.2. It's not a high capacity pack. Cell volts minimum is 3.30. One pack. If we were running a stick pack, say for a large 700 class helicopter or a big plane that has 2 packs together, you can set it up to where when you bump the one tag, it knows that you're putting 2 in. Now, internal resistance. If you do not know how to calculate this, or you don't have something you're trying to reach, leave it as default. Caution, battery ratings can only be set once. Now, when we burn this tag, it's going to be permanent on this tag. You can only use this tag once. So let's continue. Accurate charge rate. So I'm going to put my accurate to 1.5C, my normal at 2C, and my fast charge rate at 2.5, which I never use 2.5. My discharge rate, 1C is fine. These are the voltages that we want to go to. Storage charge. So when I tell this thing to do storage charge, it's going to set my cell voltage to 3.85, and it's going to use the default accurate charge to get there. Charge counter. We're starting this with 0. Now, if we want to change it to something else, we can. If we've got a LiPo that we know we've already put, 37 charges on, 32 charges on, we can put it to 32 or 37. So battery ID, I'm going to use the default. You can actually put a number in there. My battery settings, we're good to go. Now what we want to do is we got to take our new tag, and I haven't stuck it on the battery yet. I got to hold it up there and keep it there while it writes the information to it. Now this is a pretty ingenious little thing that they got. If I have 14, 20, 32 of these batteries and I want to go to another one, I can actually just bump the next tag and it'll use that information off of this pack onto it. So say you're a commercial company and you use the same exact packs and you buy 20 at a time. Once you set up one, you can bump 20 tags and write all 20 tags, but make sure it's the same chemistry and the same information. So after we're done, we just hit cancel. So now I've peeled the back off and we're going to stick it on here. And then all we have to do is bump it. And it knows the information that we just put into the pack. It's the RC2 pack. It's a 7-cell, 5,000 milliamp, 45C. And then the information actually jumps right up onto the tablet. So let's make a connection and do a charge. So now that we got our pack all set up, it's been bumped. We can either go to the tablet or the bump controller and tell it to go. It'll check the pack. If it's happy, it'll charge. If not, guess what? It's not. Well, this is something that this is the #1 phone call that I get from everybody about these. So port 1 options, DC power supply. Go in here, wiring mode, XHEH. Apply all. It will update the chargers from the bump controller. And now we're good to go. So try #2. So now that we've set up the balance connector wiring, we can go ahead and hit go, because the packs and everything, or the bump controller updates the chargers, everything's ready to go. And then with the tablet right beside us here, you can see all the same information you see on the screen, just in a bigger version. So when you're done charging for the day and you unplug your case, everything shuts down. The next time you go to use your case, when you plug it in, you'll see your normal startup screen. And if you're running the tablet, you'll just go to the Bluetooth and reconnect. You already locked onto it the first time. You don't have to reply or anything. You're good to go. So the last time we charged, we were on channel 1. Well, we want to do channel 2. It's just as simple as touching channel 2, bumping the pack, RC2 5000 7S. Once again, once you have the pack connected, go up to the bump controller and hit go. But we're going to go over here. We're going to go to channel 2, accurate charge. We can make any changes we want to from here. So we're just going to choose accurate charge, then go. And you'll actually see the bump controller. Everything's set up. Now we're charging. You'll see the graph show up, and pretty soon we'll start getting feedback. So now the charger's been running for 1 minute 53 seconds. It's estimating 21 minutes to be done. We're at 58% charged, 27.32 volts, 7 amps is what we're putting in. Now you're starting to see a graph reading of everything that's going on. So the red one is volts, and you got a little table right here telling you. Green is amps. You see the amps ramping up. Milliamps that you're putting into it, amount of fuel in the pack. Now you can click on these different settings down here, and you could read everything that's going on. This is the pack. We're showing all your cells, your hours, everything right here on the graph. Or you can do single graphs. Cell voltage, very important, your cell IR, you get a good accurate IR rating. Your power supply tells you kind of like what the power supply is doing. Your setup and your temperature. So you get really good feedback. When I'm charging, I like to hit the pack button twice like that, and it just gives you the cell IR and the cell voltage and everything all in one shot. And then at a quick glance, you can see the bar up here, how far you are on your charge. And then if you're just going to run the bump controller, you can still do all the same settings in here and get all the same information you can off the tablet. You just don't get the fancy graph schmaff, fancy dancy, whatever. You know, the cool stuff. The stuff that makes everybody go, I gotta have it. So while this is going, we can go over the other DP8, the channel 1 out of the DP8, and then we can bump a LiPo and start charging on that very easily. And you can see it, it'll come up on the tablet as channel 1 also. If you're going to parallel charge, which I'm not a big fan of parallel charging, if you're going to parallel charge, you would bump each LiPo that you're putting on so at least the bump controller can keep charge count for each time you charge a pack. Plus you also want to let that charger know that you're paralleling, and by bumping multiple tags, that's how you're going to do it. So say you're charging away and you decide you don't want to fly or you don't want to use that pack, you just hit stop, charger shuts down, everything's done. It's a great safety feature. Now I can turn around and go right into storage charge. I never cleared out the pack, so it knows what pack is on it via the bump. And now we're going back to storage. Well, we hope you appreciate the video and just